Bradshaw, and welcome to our first NNTV update of the 2020-2021 school year. We hope everyone is doing well in these difficult times. As you can see, I am not in our normal studio, but instead in my own home. But nonetheless, here at NNTV, we strive to bring you fun and topical stories from around our community. One thing that has brought people together during quarantine is the need for us to fight for what we believe in. One recent event was the March for Climate and Racial Justice, organized by Newton North's Climate Collective. Alex Katz brings us the story.
What do we want?
Climate justice!
Last Saturday, students took to the streets with powerful messages for changes in our community regarding racial justice and climate change. Protests have died down from this summer, but these students say they want to make a movement, not a moment.
I'm here today because I believe that climate justice and racial justice are inextricably linked.
I'm here because there's clear injustices, not only in the world but within our community, and I feel like this kind of peaceful protest march, it needs to keep going or things won't change.
As the protesters began to march, they chanted phrases, sang songs, and repeated powerful words.
Justice, no peace, no racist police.
After many incidents of police brutality made headlines in the news this year, like the killing of Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and many more, the group is calling for justice. Once the group arrived at City Hall, Councilman Bill Humphrey had a message for the group on how to get change even without voting.
Even though things look pretty bad right now, one thing that I have learned is there is always a weak link. And if you folks figure out what the weak link is, you're going to have an effect that way.
Speeches, songs, stories, and poems given to the crowd, all in support of climate justice and demanding change.
We are not going anywhere until we get a Green New Deal.
We talked to Christian Gaines, one of the protest organizers, about the change he wants to see happen here.
Care for others. It seems very simple, but it's very contentious right now in our political and social climate, so stay involved as much as you can.
Racial inequality and climate change is present in our community, and we need to make a change. People have marched, chanted, sang, protested, spoke, and came together today to make a difference. For NNTV, this is Alex Katz, signing off.
Thanks, Alex. It's great to see people in our generation going out and making a difference. As you may know, Halloween is tomorrow, so here at NNTV, we wanted to spread some Halloween spirit through some spooky segments. We'll go to Watertown to learn about one of their Halloween traditions. We'll get to see how Newton North faculty have celebrated Halloween throughout the years, and many more. But first, Jonathan Hashi shows us how to carve a pumpkin.
Pumpkin carving has been a part of Halloween since as long as we can remember. And even in the uncertainty of Halloween this year, this is a tradition that won't be changing. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to carve a pumpkin. Let's get into it. So, to carve a pumpkin, you need a lot of things. You're gonna need a knife. You're gonna need a pumpkin. You're gonna need a bowl. You're gonna need Sharpies or pens or pencils, whatever you prefer. And you're gonna need a spoon, a big spoon. You don't want a small spoon. Small spoons are bad for this.
The first step is to draw a circle where you're going to cut into the pumpkin. Then use your knife to cut into the circle and pull the top off. Now it's time to empty it. Use your spoon to scrape and scoop all of the seeds and guts out into your bowl. Once you finish that, take your pen and draw the face you want onto a clean side of the pumpkin. Now go ahead and cut those shapes out.
Now you have your pumpkin. It's beautiful. If you used pen or pencil, you can probably wash off the markings. I used Sharpie, so that's not coming off. But yeah, there you go. So that was my first time doing that. Voila, you got your pumpkin. Yeah, I don't know, that's it. And that's how you carve a pumpkin. I hope you have fun when you carve your own. This is Jonathan Hachi for NNTV, signing off.
With Halloween just around the corner, the Watertown Mall is celebrating its 29th annual Scarecrow contest. It's a local competition where people vote on scarecrows created by friends and families in the community. Pat Stenson, the general manager of the Watertown Mall, was inspired by a similar Scarecrow contest in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, and knew right away that she wanted to create a Scarecrow tradition in Watertown.
And so 29 years ago, we hosted our first one. And the purpose was to create excitement in the mall, to encourage customers to come and vote for their favorite Scarecrow.
The contest is a beloved tradition that has sparked creativity in many people and organizations. Over the years, some major Scarecrow themes have been Red Sox players and Disney characters.
We've had a whole range of organizations participate, from Perkins School for the Blind to Watertown High School. And so it's been really interesting, and some of them are just creatives.
We're among the groups to create incredible Scarecrows. They took advantage of a fun community-based event that is safe to participate in during this pandemic. Stop on by in the next few days to vote on your favorite Scarecrow. We hope to see all of your submissions next year. Have a happy Halloween.
You'll never hear me complaining. I'm certain the sun will shine.
I don't care how the weather vane points when the weather vane points to gloomy. It's gotta be sunny to me when your eyes look into mine.
Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those creepers? Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those eyes?
That crisp time of year when the leaves start to fall and the monsters come out? It's almost Halloween, but the real question is, trick or treat? Is it still happening? With COVID, there's been so many limitations to normal life. Is Halloween gonna be the same as it's always been?
This is what a normal Halloween looks like. But this year, we want to see what some of our Newton residents were doing for Halloween. Let's see what Newton resident Vale Fucci and her kids Ben and Ro have to say.
This year we're planning kind of a different sort of Halloween than we would have. The kids really, really, really love Halloween, so we couldn't just completely get rid of trick-or-treating. We normally would go in the evening, and we would go up and down Longfellow Street in Watertown, but we are concerned with the rates of everything that's going up in the community. So what we're doing is we're going to the same street that we normally would. That would be our main one because it's usually well decorated. We have family on that street, and it's pretty safe once you're on there for just a big, long, nice street. And some of our wonderful neighbors have agreed to also put out things just specifically for them. We've talked to the people in advance that will actually be making specific bags for our children to put out only when we're going to be there, so that way our kids aren't going and having to pick up bags where they've done before. And then we're probably going to, if I can get to it before the kids get their hands on it, quarantine the candy that they did get for a couple days before they're allowed to eat it.
Many families all across the United States are coming up with really creative ideas to stay safe during this COVID pandemic, with social distancing, contraptions, and DIYs that will make trick-or-treating still fun.
And bye. This is Ben signing off. And my sister Kaylee. Goodbye.
I hope you all have a happy Halloween, and this is Nora from NNTV signing off. Thank you.
was one of the few opportunities that my parents let us actually pick our costumes. I'm sure I just thought it was like the coolest thing because it's the cat from Tom and Jerry. I loved the Tom and Jerry cartoon. I have a twin, and she laughed and she said, "You always liked being in a costume. Like I liked being something else, you know?" So it was just kind of an exciting thing to put on.
The person in that picture is my son. His name is Nathaniel. He is dressed as an MBTA bus. We live in Hyde Park and the number 50 comes through Hyde Park, so I dressed him as the number 50. I made the costume myself and I took an old diapers box and construction paper. I went through a lot of work making him into a bus, and he liked it, and he wore it once for that picture for about 5 seconds and would not wear it again. So then I just carried it around while we were trick-or-treating and then just told people he was a broken down bus, which was a big hit.
So in that photo, I chose to dress up as my dad. And I definitely don't think that he appreciated my focus on the fact that he's bald. And I remember attending, I think, some sort of dance gathering of sorts dressed as my dad, which was a really interesting choice.
When I was in kindergarten, my family had just moved from Boston to St. Louis, so I went to my kindergarten Halloween parade dressed as a moving box. And I told this story to one of my sophomore classes a couple of years ago, and they got a big kick out of it, and I've loved telling the story ever since. And I tracked down the picture, and I enjoy talking about my favorite memory of a Halloween costume because of that class.
Halloween has always been one of my favorite holidays, and when I met my husband, it was one of his favorite holidays as well. And then when we had kids of our own, we knew that we were gonna make it something big every year. Our kids choose what they want to be each year, and then my husband and I try to coordinate along with whatever they've chosen. And it's just a fun way to be somebody different for a night when the kids really enjoy it, and we do too.
We hope those helped you to get into the Halloween spirit. That's all we have for this week's announcements. If you have a story or an announcement you would like us to air on the show, please DM us at Newton North TV on Instagram or fill out the form on our website at newtonnorthtv.com. Stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching and have a happy Halloween.